The Peanuts movie. I'm gonna give you the good, I'm gonna give you the bad, I'm gonna give you the nerdy. First, the good. The animation in this movie is absolutely fantastic. Even though the movie is 3D animated, the characters move like the old Peanuts series, and there's even moments when they use hand-drawn animation. They figure out a way to get the Peanuts comic style into the movie in certain places. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way of doing this. I can't praise it enough. Just great job of the animation. Blue Sky Studios knocked it out the park with this animation style. Also, the voice acting in this is great. In the grand tradition of Peanuts specials, they use actual kids as the voices of the Peanuts characters. So it's not gonna be like a, hey everybody, it's Will Ferrell or Danny McBride, it's Charlie Brown. No, the biggest names that they have for the kids is the younger girl from Dog Way to Blog, and I think one of the Game Shakers is a voice. So awesome for them to use Bill Melendez. He was the director of many of the Charlie Brown specials. He's passed away, but he was the voice of Snoopy and Woodstock. So they use all of his original recordings to voice Snoopy and Woodstock in this movie. So that was really awesome. And you're going to love Snoopy. I've always been a big fan of Snoopy, but man, they found the perfect way to make use of this character in this movie. He's frantic, but he's funny, and he pops in and out of places like he's the Mask or something. He's so good in this movie. He's so funny. You're going to love him interacting with the Peanuts kids. So good. There's a scene in this movie with Charlie Brown and his sister Sally that I just love because it just proved what we like about Charlie Brown. This guy has so much bad luck, in this movie included, but yet he never gives up, and he's a good person. You see the good in him. He's not just this guy that's just like, oh, woe is me, everybody's against me, I hate my life, I hate the world, without contributing something. He's actually a good guy who just keeps having bad luck, and that's why you feel sorry for this guy. They captured that in this movie so well, and that's what makes this movie work. If you've watched the Peanuts specials or you read the Peanuts comics and you were to say, here are the 5 things or the 5 jokes I remember about Peanuts that I really liked, good chances are most of them are in this movie. But it's still fun to see them because you see them in this new animation style. You see where they pop in and out of the movie. And even with a couple of them, they've even found some little twists that they can do with them. It's a little bit faster paced than your classic Peanut specials. It's gonna be a little bit more frantic. They move around a little bit faster. I think it fits well with the animation style, and I actually kind of like it because it made for a lot of good comedic jokes. And I also can't fault it because if you look at many movies today, they're a lot more faster paced. That's just us, you know, that's our attention deficit because we have so many different things that distract us. They were still able to keep the charm and the style and the humor of Peanuts, but just at a different speed than before. Which that's what I love the most about this movie. This movie found a way to be modern enough for new audiences, but still respectful to the franchise, being very loyal to what we know about it and what we love about it. This movie avoids all the reboot traps. They're not twerking, or they didn't pop out from the comic strip into the real world and none of that craziness. They don't even have cell phones or computers. They're still using typewriters and landlines. That's how not modern this movie is. The only modern take you get on this is Meghan Trainor makes a new song for this movie. It knew the parts where it needed to be modern. It became modern in its style, in its pacing, in its presentation. You'll be able to watch this years later and it's gonna be just fine because there's nothing in here that makes it very 2015. Right before the movie started, we got trailers for Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip, the Angry Birds movie, and the Ratchet and Clank movie. I'm not even upset about these movies, but the movies are trying to sell themselves as, hey chipmunks, we sing pop culture songs and we got poop jokes. Angry Birds and Ratchet and Clank was like, hey, we got celebrities voicing the characters and we're gonna have that fast-paced humor that's just kind of silly and meta. Almost no response from the audience. We're in an audience full of adults, kids, families, no response to any of those trailers. Peanuts come on within the first couple of minutes. People are laughing, they're cheering, they're all happy, they're doing the sounds. That's what this movie does. It captures the magic for the people who grew up with it, while at the same time being entertaining enough that if you are a new kid who is brand new to Peanuts, you've never seen these characters before, it was still interesting. That's what a reboot is supposed to do. I'm not asking for a reboot to be the exact same thing that I saw in the past. I know that it needs to be modernized because it's not for me, it's for the next generation. But if you can please the next generation as well as please me, then you've done a good job. And this movie does an excellent job at that. And kudos to this movie though for, bless their hearts, Franklin, the Black Peanuts character. Franklin's always been around. I love that this movie found any possible way they could to put Franklin in this movie. They don't really give him a story, but if a line needs to be said to keep the scene moving, guess who gets to say it? Franklin, like every single time. Show's about to start, Franklin comes in. Hey, right, let's start the show. School's about to start. Franklin comes in. Hey, school's starting. Little red hair girl comes in. Hey, little red girl is here. Like, Franklin is there. He's just waiting. He's just like, who needs to keep the scene moving? I'm ready. Franklin's ready for his line. So kudos to Franklin for keeping this movie going along. Now for the bad. So part of the movie is the Snoopy flying ace going against the Red Baron, and they're very fun scenes. I love them. They're particularly there, I'm sure, for the 3D, put those flying scenes in there so you can put those glasses on. There are a lot of them though, and I don't have a problem with those scenes existing. It's just I would have liked to maybe taken 1 or 2 of those scenes out and use that time instead to focus on the supporting characters, because this movie is very Charlie Brown and very Snoopy focused, and you do get to see Lucy and Linus and Schroeder and Pigpen and all the characters, and they even find like little ways to have fun with their characters. But it would have been nice to see some little vignettes more with the supporting cast. I remember watching the specials, particularly the Peanuts movies, and they would have the main storyline, but then occasionally you get a Lucy and Schroeder bit, or you get a Peppermint Patty and Marcy bit, and you get a couple of those in this movie, but I would have liked to have seen more. This is getting critical, but I feel like the movie should have probably been called like the Charlie Brown movie or the Charlie Brown and Snoopy movie. I mean, I know Peanuts is the name of the comic strip, but I feel like people know the franchise more, particularly younger people know it as Charlie Brown or as Snoopy, and they could have even joked around with like Snoopy changing it to the Snoopy and Charlie Brown movie. You know, even Charles Schulz has said in interviews that he wasn't particularly a fan of the name Peanut, so that's just all. You see how I'm trying to find bad things because this movie is so good. And now for the nerdy. Kristen Chenoweth is in this movie, but good luck hearing her. When the little redhead girl moves into the neighborhood, check her moving truck. It's called Mendelsohn and Melendez Moving Company, which I thought was a cute homage to Lee Mendelsohn, who was the executive producer on many of the Peanuts specials, and Bill Melendez, who I've already mentioned. And make sure you stay till the end because there's after credit scenes. One of those about Snoopy, and if you know about Snoopy and maybe others related to him, you want to stick around for that one. And the other one is just a classic Charlie Brown gag that has always been my favorite. And I was worried because I was watching the whole movie going, oh, they're not going to do that gag? And then when it pops up in the mid-credit scenes, I was like, yeah, baby. I know how it's going to end, but I'm going to laugh every single time because it's funny every single time. Go see this movie, everybody. I cannot stress this enough. Listen, internet, if you are sitting here on the internet complaining about how your childhood keeps getting ruined by all these reboots and remakes, and you don't go support this movie that was faithful to the franchise, then you're the problem. And look, I know how the internet is, so I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna have all those people come out and be like, oh wait, but it's a reboot. I gotta make fun of a reboot. I gotta be critical about a reboot. So you're gonna find people who are gonna start nitpicking this thing to death, talking about how, oh, it's not new enough. It's not modern enough. Stop. It just as we can get all mad when a reboot does something wrong, we gotta at least respect when a reboot does something right. Does it honor the franchise while at the same time introducing it to a new generation? Absolutely. Let me know if you're gonna see the Peanuts movie, and if you saw it, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks so much for watching this video, and do me a favor, go over to the Regal Movies YouTube channel where I have a whole in-depth talk about the Peanuts, all the history that you need to know to get ready for that film. You can click on Charlie Brown right here, and he'll take you right over to it. If you're new here, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get new videos every week. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Addy 5000. Chain chomp, yelp.